95,000. I am still completely in awe and disbelief. Thank you. Thank you all so much. We just passed 95,000 subscribers yesterday, and I can never convey to you guys how appreciative I am. So thank you so much. The final countdown is on. So we are less than 5,000 subscribers to getting to that 100K goal, and I can't even really explain. Maybe I will in a video down the road, but what that 100,000 subscriber goal has meant to me over this past year since we've really kind of been chasing it. It means a lot to me, and it's much deeper than just a silver play button or anything like that. It's really, really important. So thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Thank you for coming along with me. Thank you for everything. I will never be able to thank you guys enough for everything you have done for me. One thing that I have been able to do is give back a little bit. We are giving away a Burning Shadows booster box. If you want to be entered to win that, go back, watch the video that we posted last Friday. Since we did pass 95,000, tomorrow we'll start another giveaway. So we have this, I told you guys that once we get to 95K, we'll give away an Evolutions booster box. So come back tomorrow to see if you won the Burning Shadows booster box, but also to enter to win the Evolutions booster box. 95,000. I mean, it's absolutely insane. All you're going to have to do is just subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment on tomorrow's video. That's it. That's all you have to do to enter to win that. And then we'll keep doing it every 1,000 subscribers until we get to 100,000. And then we'll have what I think could be the biggest Pokemon giveaway ever on YouTube. We've got 3 vintage booster boxes, Team Rocket, Rising Rivals, Stormfront. We're going to have 100 different winners. We're going to crack open all the packs live on YouTube. 100 different winners will win a booster pack that I'll open up for them. All the hits, every single hit, the rare or above, is going to be going to CGC to get graded for free with a special commemorative logo on the top of it. There'll be giveaways throughout the night in the chat. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button and you appreciate the content, please do leave a like, leave a comment, share the video, all that good stuff. I want to talk to you guys about booster packs. We've talked about booster packs before, and I kind of went over some data over the XY era and the Sun and Moon era. I was going to record a video on each of them, but the Sun and Moon era has been relatively stagnant for the most part, outside of a few obvious ones like Cosmic Eclipse has grown a lot, Team Up has grown a lot, but XY has really seen some massive growth over the past year, and we haven't looked at XY booster packs for about 4 or 5 months now, so I wanted to kind of revisit that, kind of give you an idea of where things are headed. Booster packs are a great thing to collect if you're somebody who's low on space and maybe doesn't have the funds to collect sealed booster boxes, because sealed booster boxes, especially from that XY era, are really getting expensive. Ones like Phantom Forces, XY Base, Flashfire, even some of the other ones really kind of booming in price. Obviously, Evolutions just continue to just get more and more expensive. So the likelihood of being able to collect all of those seems a little bit daunting when you think about it, when you're kind of tight on funds or trying to keep your collection spending to a minimum. So the idea of collecting sealed booster packs almost in a play set form, so an art set of every single booster pack, is something that's very, very attractive to a lot of people. So if it's not something that you've considered before, maybe it would be something that would be right up your alley. You can display them on the wall, you can display them in different cases. PSA does grade them. It's a very cool look, something that's very sleek but doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So we do have, I just pulled out some different art sets that we have here that we're going to talk about today, just to kind of get a feel for what things look like. So we have like Roaring Skies right here, some really cool artwork. Roaring Sky is really interesting because they reprinted it, a significant portion of it, really close to when it was rotating out of competitive format. Part of that is because Shaman had gotten so expensive and demand was there for Roaring Skies reprint, but it really crashed the market. Here's XY Base, super cool set. This is one of the sets that really brought me back into Pokemon after kind of a little bit of a hiatus. This is, I remember buying booster packs of XY Base at Toys R Us and pulling a full art Venusaur and pulling a full art Evital. That was the first time that I kind of started opening booster packs again. This is Primal Clash, which has really shot up in price with the Groudon and the Kyogre right there. Groudon is a deck that I played quite a bit in competitive format. Very, very mind-boggling deck. Definitely something I wouldn't recommend playing for 8 or 9 rounds straight. Evolutions right here. Obviously, the nostalgia. A lot of people really enjoy that. And then probably the most expensive set that we're going to look at throughout X and Y, the Charizard set from the XY era, which is Flashfire right here with the Mega Charizards and the Pyroar and Kangaskhan. Really cool art sets, but definitely definitely something to look forward to, maybe look at if you're looking at kind of expanding your collection a little bit, but don't want to go too crazy into some of those booster boxes. So we're going to start out looking at XY base and just kind of go in order, and I'll go relatively quickly here because I know your time is valuable to you. XY base, for the most part, has stayed very consistent over the past 6 months. You can see it's actually trended downward over the past year. In March of 2022, it hit a one-year high of $44.32, and then really started going downhill after that, all the way up until August, and then it kind of leveled out. So it hit $34.52 as a low point right there in September, October, and then really just started gaining a little bit back, but for the most part staying right around that $34, $35 mark. So it's sitting at $34.93 currently, but over the last 6 months or so, 7 months, hasn't really changed a penny, hasn't really moved much at all. So definitely lower than where it was at the beginning of 2022, but has stayed fairly consistent over the past 7 or so months. If we look at Flashfire, this one did see a decent dip at the end of 2022 and then shot right back up. So you can see its one-year high right around $64. You were able to find these for closer to that $50 mark for quite a while in the fall of 2022, but now, as you can see, things have started turning around. It started rising back up. It hit a one-year low in October of $56.88 and then started climbing. Not a whole lot of movement on Flashfire booster packs, not a ton of sales because they are relatively expensive and people don't necessarily crack them a lot. They want them for collection purposes because the chances of pulling something out of those Flashfire booster packs that's worth more than the pack price is very slim. You might pull a full art Charizard, you might pull a Mega Charizard, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot worth pulling out of Flashfire, but started to climb back up. So it's sitting at 62.26 currently, definitely closer to its one-year high than its one-year low. If we look at Furious Fist, also has rebounded a little bit. Furious Fist was definitely trending downwards. You can see $17.95 was its one-year high, which it hit in March of 2022. Again, not a whole lot in Flashfire or in Furious Fist that really makes sense to open it up. You've got the secret rare Mega Heracross. You've got some other decently cool cards, but nothing that's really worth the value of the pack price right there. You can see it hit a one-year low in May of 2022 of $16.19. Tried to come back a little bit all the way up until November, where it hit about $17.50 or so, and then came back down a little bit at the beginning of 2023, hovering at $17.06 currently. So about right in between its one-year high and one-year low. Not a whole lot of movement monetary wise when it comes to Furious Fists. If we look at Phantom Forces, this is another set that has trended downward a little bit. I absolutely loved Phantom Forces. This was one of the sets that I went really heavy on opening because there were so many cool cards. I love Manectric as a Pokemon. I love Gengar as a Pokemon, and the opportunity to pull those cards out of this set. It was also very, very good. From a competitive standpoint, it had Battle Compressor, it had VS Seeker, it had some really important competitive cards in it that definitely impacted the price quite a bit, but you can see it hit a one-year high in May of 2022 at $32.18. Started trending downward a little bit, went up a little bit in October, but then back down, so it's definitely trending in the downward direction, sitting at $29.70 currently. That's right off of its one-year low of $29.48. Should be interesting to see how it continues to perform moving forwards. Primal Clash, a completely different animal, and as we get into these later sets from XY, you can see them really start to increase in value. Definitely less available when it comes to a sealed pattern than what we see now, because a lot of people weren't thinking about saving sealed packs, collecting art sets of sealed back then, not nearly as much as we do now. So if you look in March of 2022, it was at a one-year low of $11.48. You're looking at 30 to 40% growth pretty much throughout the entirety of 2022, sitting at $16.28 currently. 1 year later, that's a one-year high for Primal Clash. If we look at Roaring Skies, also trending in the upward direction. April of 2022, it was at a one-year low of $12.72. It's gone up about 30% since then. You can see it hit a one-year high in February of 2023. It was at $16.32. Now it's backtracked a little bit at $15.92, but you can see a couple different instances here where it did backtrack a little bit and then just continued in that upward direction. If we look at Ancient Origins, also trending in the upward direction. It's backed off a little bit right now. Ancient Origins featuring that Tyranitar, featuring some of those secret rare primal cards. Very, very cool set. You can see in May of 2022, it hit a one-year low of $15.79, but it's gone up 40%, 50% since then. You can see in January 2023, it jumped all the way up to $26.82. Backed off a little bit, sitting at $22.82 currently, but still way closer to that one-year high than that one-year low. Breakthrough also trending in the upward direction, relatively consistent for the majority of 2022. In March of 2022, it was at a one-year low of $10.10. It's actually jumped about 20% since October. You can see in October, it was right around $10.25, $10.30. 12%, somewhere around there, and then jumped all the way up almost at $13. It hit a one-year high of $12.75, backed off a little bit, and then started trending back upwards, sitting at $12.65 currently. Breakpoint also trending in the upward direction, and a lot less dips, a lot less peaks and valleys when it comes to Breakpoint. Real just consistent growth that we've seen, especially since August of 2022. In March of 2022, it was at a one-year low of $7.39. It's gained almost 50% since then, sitting at a one-year high currently of $11.87. But look how much damage it's done since September of 2022, right when it was around $8, and then it started really increasing in price. You can see up until January of 2023, it hit about $11.50, and then over the last couple months, it's been relatively level, but definitely still trending in the upward direction with that cool Gyarados in there, the secret rare Gyarados. Fates Collide also starting to trend in the upward direction. We did see a little bit of a valley there in November of 2022. Back in March, it was hovering right around $7.12. Really started shooting up until September. It hit a one-year high in September of $9.67, and then backed off in November all the way back below that $8 mark before starting to go back up, sitting at $9.19 currently. Still much closer to its one-year high than its one-year low, up about 30% from where it started out in 2022. Steam Siege, very, very interesting because this set is up almost 50% over the past year. In March of 2022, it was $5.07, stayed relatively consistent. It did bump up over $6 in August of 2022, then came back down to about $5.50 in September, and now has really been trending in the upward direction since the end of 2022 into January of 2023. Really just started trending upwards. It's got the secret rare Gardevoir, it's got the secret rare Volcanion, but even those aren't very expensive cards in the set. Definitely something that people more look at from a sealed collection point. Even at $7.31, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to crack open a ton of Steam Siege because there's not a whole lot of value in pulls. However, if you're looking for an older set to open, that you just want to enjoy some of the artworks, maybe you weren't necessarily collecting at that time and you want to be able to open some of those cards, at $7.31, not a bad price point for a set as old as Steam Siege, but definitely starting to trend in that upward direction. Evolutions also trending upwards again. You can see in May of 2022, it dropped all the way down to $15.31. Say all the way down, that's still ridiculously expensive for a set like Evolutions, which doesn't have a whole lot of cards in the set that are worth a ton of money. You have the holographic Charizard, that has a little bit of value associated with it. Same thing with the reverse holo variant of it. You have the Mega Blastoise full art. You have a couple other cards in the set that have a little bit of decent value to it that are worth about the price of the pack. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of value when it comes to Evolutions. But you can see started going up in September of 2022. It was right above that $22 mark and then came back down to about $18 and now trending back in the upward direction, sitting at $22.59 currently. That's a one-year high for Evolutions. Just really interesting to see it continue to trend in the upward direction. One of those specialty sets, Double Crisis, which is extremely expensive. It does have the Kyogre and it does have the Groudon on it, but definitely a smaller pack, smaller set size. Really crazy, the price points on this one. Not a whole lot of availability when it comes to this. These weren't sold loose. These were pretty much just sold in 2-pack blisters. I remember a lot of people playing the Team Magma's secret base out of this set. That was the only set that you could pull secret base out of, really kind of dominating the format and increasing in price. But look at what Double Crisis has done over the past really year or so. It was right around $95 in March of 2022 and then just started trending way down all the way up until October of 2022. That's where it hit a one-year low of $60.91. This is really just being purchased by collectors, sealed collectors. Nobody's really opening packs of Double Crisis because there's just not a whole lot that you're going to pull out of this set. Sitting at $65.87 currently. Generations has done extremely well over the past year. So this was the 20th anniversary set. There were Generations collection boxes all over the place. A year after release, they were on clearance all over the place. The mythical collection boxes, those premium collection boxes, Generations, even the elite trainer boxes were very easy to find. Of course, supply and demand completely changed that altogether. Demand became huge for pretty much all Pokemon products, and Generations, being an older set, got bought up like mad. In March of 2022, it was sitting at $36.67, so it's gone up over 20% since then, but no valleys really on this graph right here. It's steadily gained gained ground pretty much the entirety of the last year, sitting at $43.26 currently. So a lot of XY packs definitely trending in the upward direction. Something that I wanted to take a look at so that way you can make the best decision when it comes to filling out, spending your collection dollars. Maybe it's something you're like, I really want to focus on some of these booster packs, but I don't want to buy them when they're too expensive. So looking at maybe some of the ones that have dropped considerably in price, or maybe looking at some of the ones that are trending upwards, being like, hey, I don't want to wait too long. I know FOMO is not something that you really want to buy into, but when it comes to some of these older packs, you also don't want to miss the boat and then not have those art sets kind of freed up. And I know with a lot of people kind of looking at the Scarlet and Violet release to debate whether or not they really want to go heavy on Scarlet and Violet or kind of shore up their collection in other areas. Definitely something to take note of, especially with some of these kind of trending in the upward direction. So I hope you like the content. If you do, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, share the channel if you wouldn't mind. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks again for 95,000. I really, really appreciate it. You guys mean the world to me. We'll be back tomorrow with a video on Crown Zenith price drops. It is definitely trending downward, so definitely a time to start looking at some of those singles, but maybe you want to wait a little bit longer with those Galarian Bird Tin releases. Crown Zenith definitely feeling the excess supply right now, so it'll be interesting to kind of talk about that. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, thanks so much again. Peace.